This exhibition is titled Chromophilia, meaning the love of colour. It's a group exhibition with multiple artists, all of whom approach colour, but use colour in very bold ways. My idea was to investigate how modern and contemporary artists across the 20th and 21st centuries put colour as a central theme in their work, really recuperating colour, which in Western society is often denigrated or othered. So seriousness is seen as very monochrome, sober dark colours, or the absence of colour, colourlessness, is seen as a kind of signifier of seriousness, whereas colour is othered, associated with non-Western societies, or with childhood, or with femininity. And so this was an exhibition that enabled an opportunity to recuperate colour and show how important it has been through the history of art in the last century or so. And particularly investigating how modern and contemporary artists have liberated or emancipated colour from line and form. So often the artists that I'm showing here have used colour in a very bold and unmodulated way, and sometimes using monochrome colour as well. Having said that, a number of the artists are using found colour, and they use fabric or collage as a way to explore colour as well. So we have artists like Pipilotti Rist, whose major installation behind me is using different fragments of fabric brought together to explore vibrant colour. Again, we also show an artist called Bharti Kher from India, who uses fabric, the fabric of saris, to explore different uses of colour in India, a vibrant colour, and how that relates to the body and to a different cultural context as well. The whole show is inspired in part by a book by a British artist, David Batchelor, who's a guest artist for this exhibition, that he published in 2000 called Chromophobia, the fear or the phobia towards colour, that is this idea that in European society we tend to avoid colour, or we banish colour from our world. And that is something that's happened since the Enlightenment, and even impacts our interpretation of, say, classical art, Greek art, which we have seen as being white and pristine, but in fact, in recent years we've discovered it was actually polychromatic. So this is an exploration of the importance of colour within the history of art. I think that there have been different reasons why this has impacted on the ways that artists have used colour. Sometimes it's technological, and sometimes it's to do with, for instance, our relationship to light. The development of gas lighting and then electrical lighting had a big impact perhaps on the Impressionists and Post-Impressionists. Also things like drinking absinthe or taking drugs has also changed the relationship to colour, psychedelic colour. Developments such as the work of Yves Klein and his very particular use of a patented colour pigmentation, which he called IKB, or International Klein Blue, which was something he developed himself, which is not just the colour, vibrant colour blue that he used, but also the textural pigmentation. It has a very special quality that absorbs light. And so these technological or material advances have also changed the relationship to colour. More recently, the use of plastics and perspex in art, transparency, translucently, or even LED lighting. And we have a work by David Batchelor in the show which uses LED lights. It's called Chromophilia, and it gradually shifts through the entire colour spectrum over the course of an hour, and so is a kind of chromatic clock. So different ways in which, you know, neon colour or different new and unconventional materials shift the way that artists use colour. Another thing that's important, as well as the kind of cultural or social or political associations of colour, the recuperation of colour from a, say, feminist perspective or from the point of view of different cultural perspectives around the world. For a show in Zurich in January, it's very nice just to have a lot of vibrant colour because it lifts our mood and is incredibly joyful. So we shouldn't lose sight of that. And I think, for instance, one of the other guest artists that we have in the show is someone called Elisabeth Wild, who lived from 1922 to 2020. We have a group of her collages made in Guatemala. She was born in Austria in 1922. She lived in different locations around the world, including Switzerland, but ended her life living in Guatemala, making these incredible collages. And her life story is really a life story of the 20th century. And these collages are an incredibly vibrant and positive, beautiful summation of her experience of the span of 20th century and 21st century art.